वन्दे गुरुपदद्वन्द्वम् अवाङ्मनसगोचरम् रक्तशुक्लप्रभामिश्रम् अतर्क्यम् त्रैपुरम् अहः विशुद्धिज्ञानदेहाय त्रिवेदी दिव्यचक्षुषे श्रेयः प्राप्तिनिमित्ताय नमः सोमार्धधारिणे नमो यामिनीनाथरेखालङ्कृत कुन्तलाम् भवानीं भवसन्तापनिर्वापण सुधानदीम्
So from this sutra onwards, Bhagavan Parashurama speaks about the Traipura Siddhanta. So in the previous one we saw that Paramashiva Bhattaraka from his 5 faces created the 5 Amnayas. Though there are 5 Amnayas, the essence of the 5 Amnas is as follows. Tatra ayam siddhantaha. The essence of the 5 Amnayas is as follows. Tatra ayam siddhantaha. Śattrimśat Tattvāni Viśvam. Viśvam, the created universe that we experience is made up of, or is but a manifestation of the 36 Tattvas. Śattrimśat Tattvāni. Starting from Shiva Tattva till the Bhumi Tattva, totally 36 Tattvas. Each of these Tattvas are divided into Shuddha Tattvas, Shuddha Tattvas and the Ashuddha Tattvas. The Shuddha Tattvas is Shiva, Shakti, Sadashiva, Ishvara, Shuddha Vidya. So when we do the Tattva Shodhanam, when we say Shiva Tattvam Shodhayami, it is these 5 Tattvas that are referred to by collectively known as Shiva Tattvam. Starting from Maya, okay, we have the 7 Tattvas which are the Shuddha Ashuddha Tattvas. Then starting from the Prakriti, we have the 24 Ashuddha Tattvas. So Ashuddha Tattvas are Atma Tattvas, the Shuddha Ashuddha Tattvas are Vidya Tattvas, and the first 5 is the Shiva Tattva. So the entire universe is made up of this conglomerate of 36 Tattvas. Basically, these 36 Tattvas are derivatives. One follows the other till a particular, that is till the Ashuddha Tattva stage, it follows one below the other. And after that, we have the differential between the Purusha, which is the Sakanchikitaha Shiva, we will be seeing in the next sutra. So Shiva being the experiencer, limited experiencer, he becomes Jiva, and the object that he experiences as apart from himself, okay, is the prapancha or the world that he sees. So the entire universe is the play of 36 Tattvas. So we will deal with each of these 36 Tattvas, and there is one thing called Tattvatita Tattva also. We will see about that Tattvatita Tattva also in detail in the next class. So for now, these are the 36 Tattvas, and these 36 Tattvas, Śattrimśat Tattvāni Vishvam. So there is an Abheda Bhavana in the Sutra. Bhagavan Parashurama is not saying that the Vishvam is created out of 36 Tattvas. He says the entire Prapancha is but 36 Tattvas itself. Okay? So, when we speak about the 36 Tattvas, you have to keep one thing in mind. We belong to the Agama Tantra Sampradāya, which does not recognize a Bheda between Parashiva and the Jagat. So the Jagat is as real as Parashiva is. And Jagat is Parashiva himself transformed. So there is an Abheda Bhavana in that. That is why Śattrimśat Tattvāni Vishvam. This Vishvam is 36 Tattvāni. Okay. And these 36 Tattvas are but Parashiva Tattva only, in essence. So we are not pluralistic. Okay. And we do not believe in, or our Siddhanta is not dualistic. That is, it is not Advaita or even Vishishta Advaita. Ours is Kevala Advaita. There is only one Parashiva Tattva here. That Parashiva Tattva is out of his own will, Swatantrya. Okay? Assumes the forms of these 36 Tattvas that we see as the Vishwa or as the Jagat. So that is the essence of this particular sutra. Okay. So, having said about these 36 Tattvas, Bhagavan moves on to the next sutra. He says, Sharira Kanchukitaha Shivaha Jivaha Nishkanchukaha Parashivaha. This is a very, very important concept. Okay? Just like the Vedanta says, Jiva Brahmanoho Aikyam. There is an essential unity between Jiva and Brahma. The difference that is seen is only apparent. Okay? In Vedanta, it is the conditional element. But if it is avidyavachinna, then it is Jiva. If it is mayavachinna, it is Ishvara. It is niravachinna, then it is Parabrahma. In the Shaiva Agamas, Parashiva, out of his Swatantrya, when he assumes the Achadana or Kanchuka, we call it as Kanchuka. Kanchuka means a cover. Okay, just like you have the shawl or something to cover yourself up, Kanchuka is the cover. So here Parashiva, out of his Swatantrya, assumes the cover, hides his Swatantrya, and experiences the world as Jiva. So when he experiences the world as Jiva, okay, he is of an understanding that his powers are limited, he is limited by time, he is incomplete. All these are because of the Shat Kanchukas. We will see that about Shat Kanchukas when we speak about the 36 Tattvas in detail. So, same Parashiva becomes Jiva out of his free will. See that concept of free will is very, very important in the Shaiva Agama. Unlike in the Advaita Vedanta, where it is accidental, it cannot be explained. Why Brahma becomes Jiva? No one can explain. Here we say that he becomes because he wills. So nothing happens without his will. So here, because of the absolute importance given to Parashiva, we leave the Prapancha Srishti also to his will only. Otherwise, what happens is, okay, See, basically ours is an Upasana marga. Okay? In Upasana marga, you need to have a very, very strong or a Drida bhakti. And for the bhakti, Vishvasa is important. Okay? So for this Vishvasa, for this bhakti, you should have a absolute faith in the Parashiva. So, unlike Vedanta, where bhakti and all those things are not given any importance, there it is only virakti, not having any attachment. That is the most important qualification to become or to assume sannyasa. Here, in the previous class we saw that bhakti is defined as a state where there is kinchit raga and kinchit viraga. There is a raga and there is a viraga also. Because if you are atyanta raktaha, no, if you are extremely attached to the world, then you will never look towards yourself or towards your upasya devata. Okay. If you are extremely detached from the world also, this sadhana marga you cannot undertake. So you have to have a balance between the two. So that is a very, that is basically why here to have that kind of shraddha, everything that happens has to happen with the permission or with the control, with your upasya devata being in full control. So when we say out of his Swatantrya shakti, Parashiva assumes. So it is his control that he becomes Jiva. So when we ask why or how he becomes Jiva, he wills it, he becomes. Simple. No other questions can be asked. Okay. The second question that comes, how can something which he himself generates make him forget who he is? How is it that the Kanchukas, which are derivatives of Parashiva, hide Parashiva's original Swarupa? Is it technically feasible? Is it technically acceptable? Do we see anything like this happening? For that, the Shastrakaras give a very beautiful example. They say, the sun. The sunlight causes evaporation of the water. The water becomes evaporated, it condenses to become cloud. The cloud is nothing but, the water which has been sucked out because of the energy of the sun, but the same cloud can hide the sun behind itself. So when it say it is hiding, it is not actually, causing any kind of change in the real nature of the sun. It is merely, from the perceiver point of view, presenting the sun differently from what it actually is. Similarly, these Kanchukas present the Chidamsha different from what it actually is. Therefore, you assume, that you are, as a Jiva, you are limited in everything. So, Sharira Kanchukitaha Shivaha Jivaha. Shiva, who is Kanchukitaha, covered by Sharira, by this body, Sthula, Sukshma and Karana. By these bodies becomes Jiva. And Jiva, who has cast away all his Kanchukas, is Parashiva. Nishkanchukaha Jivaha Parashiva. So, there is no aikyam, So when we speak about Jiva Brahma aikyam, you should not assume that a concept of a river mingling into the ocean and all those things. There it is more of a Dvaita Bhavana. It is no aikyam here. It is merely recognizing yourself as being Nishkanchukita. You realize that you are Parashiva. In Shastra, there is one Nyaya by name Kanthachamikara Nyaya. Kanthachamikara Nyaya is someone is wearing a choker. And doesn't realize that he is wearing a choker. He is looking for that piece of ornament everywhere in the house. Obviously, he cannot find. Suddenly someone walks in. He finds him searching for something. He says, I'm searching for my choker. So he says, it's right there on your neck. Okay, Kantha Chamikara. Chamikaram is that ornament, choker. Okay. So nothing was done here. The third person merely told you, okay, where it was. That is, merely told you that you are already having it with you. Only thing is, somewhere, due to some reason, you had forgotten about it. That third person is a guru, who comes and reminds you your real nature, okay, as being Nishkanchukita. And for that, he gives you the mantra. So the Shadangas that we have in the mantra are the process of, okay, let me use this word, Nishkanchukification of the Jiva. Okay, so each of the, whether it is Anganyasa or the Karanyasa, it actually is a process by which you cast away those Kanchukas. Okay, so, okay, more about it when we see about the Tattvas. So, Sharira Kanchukitaha Shivaha Jivaha. Nishkanchikitaha Jivaha Parasiva. So, this is the Jiva-Ishvara Swarupa Varnana. Okay, the description of the nature of Jiva and Shiva. Then, why should one take up this Shastra, or why should one follow this particular Upasana Paddhati? So that Prayojana for following the Upasana Paddhati has to be given. The Prayojana is Purushartha. That is given in the 6th Sutra. Purushartha. To attain the highest goal of human existence. Okay. Now this term Purushartha is generally used for Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha. To differentiate Moksha from the other, it is called as Parama Purushartha. Okay. That is the highest objective of a person. So, when Bhagavan Parashurama says Purushartha, he means Parama Purushartha, the Moksha. So, the Moksha is the reason why you should be in these Upasana Paddhati. There are many people who engage in Upasanas for other reasons. Nothing wrong in that. As long as you don't lose your sight on the ultimate goal. The others are ancillary benefits. But the problem is, when you start treating the ancillary as, or you start running after the ancillary, you are obviously going to forget the actual goals. So the Parama Purushartha of Upasana is moksha. Okay. Now what is the moksha swarupa in this paddhati? Sva-vimarśa purushartha. Swa-vimarśa. Swasya vimarsha. What is the meaning of the word vimarsha? You have come across the term prakasha-vimarsha. What is vimarsha? Vimarsha comes from the Sanskrit dhatu mrish, to touch. Okay. So vimarsha is to touch upon. Here when we say touch upon, it means to realize. There are many things that the touch will actually tell you about certain things. Okay. Say for example, you are in the kitchen, so the rice is cooking. You cannot actually find out from your sight how cooked that rice is. When you touch and feel, you understand, okay, it is half boiled, no, it's parboiled, or it is fully boiled, sort of thing. So touching actually gives you an experience. Okay, so here when the mrish dhatu is used in the term vimarsha, okay, it is not the physical touching, it is the experience. So swasya vimarshaha, knowing oneself, is vimarsha. Okay. Now in the concept of prakasha and vimarsha, what does vimarsha mean? Prakasha is existence as pure consciousness. Vimarsha is knowing that you are pure consciousness. That is why Shiva Shaktyoho Samarasyam Arabheda. You cannot, even though they are listed as Tattva 1, Tattva 2, always the two will always be clubbed and treated together. Okay, because Shakti is like in Vijnana Bhairava, there is a beautiful shloka wherein Shakti as a vimarsha is equated with the mirror which shows the person his face. So, it is through vimarsha, prakasha knows that it is Shuddha Chaitanya. Okay, so that is why there is no difference between Shiva and Shakti Tattvas. So, sva-vimarśha, realizing oneself as pure consciousness is the moksha here. So, in Upasana Paddhati, moksha is not going somewhere, is not reaching somewhere, is not becoming something. All those are, an imagery given for us to understand the concept. So when we say that you will go into Guru Mandala, you will go to Sri Pura, okay, all those things, you will have to understand that Sri Pura and Guru Mandala and all these things are not places or people or any spaces. Okay? They are nothing of that sort. They are basically a kind of stages of experience only. And the highest experience is where there is nothing else other than the experience. Only the sole experiencer remains. That is the highest stage. That is what is moksha here. Bhagavan does not use the word moksha. Okay. See, we have to appreciate the work by the choice of words. That shows how deeply or how significant certain concepts are for us in a particular system. See, the term nirvana, if it is used, okay, it is used in certain philosophies wherein you have to get rid of something to attain, okay, a particular state of perfection. Basically, it is a term which is most frequently used in the Buddhist systems. Okay, wherein they don't speak anything about the nature of Atma or anything like that. They only tell you that you have to get rid of certain negative or certain imperfections or paramitas. So, nirvana is actually getting away or getting rid of. So, if you use the term nirvana for moksha, okay, it is from that philosophical background you are looking at the concept of moksha. Okay, coming to the term moksha itself. Once again, moksha also means to be free from. Comes from the dhatu muj, to be free from. So when we say you are free from, it means that earlier you are stuck to something which is painful, which is difficult, and in this new state you are rid of that and you are in a state of bliss. Okay? So once again, when you use the term moksha or when you use the term nirvana, you are talking from a it's like you are moving from something negative to something positive. In our system, we will hardly use these terms moksha and nirvana for that stage. The reason being that the world is not seen in a negative way. Why? Third sutra. Śattrimśat Tattvāni Viśvāḥ. Because the world is not anything else other than Parashiva himself. So, to attribute negativities to the world is attributing negativities to Parashiva himself, which we will never do. That is why the term used here for moksha is sva-vimarśha. Okay? To have an experience of oneself as pure experience or pure consciousness. So this is an absolute positive idea. And an idea which says that you don't have to go anywhere, okay, or reach any place, leave anything behind. Nothing is required. It will happen this moment, in the same place, wherever you are. Only that the way you start seeing everything else will completely change. That is the only difference between, let us say, a jnani here, okay, and a Kanchukita Jiva. A jnani will see everything, okay, but differently. Okay, a lot of work on this is done in works, especially of Kashmir Shaivism works like Malini Vijnana and all those things, where they give you seven levels of pramatas, 7 levels of experience. Okay, so they tell you in how you progressively start seeing or you start experiencing the world around you. So the experience of the world will continue, but how you experience will only change. Or what your takeaway from that experience is what will change. So that is sva-vimarśa. That is purushartha. Okay. Let's go to the next. Okay, for this moksha, or this state of nirvana, or as we say, for the purushartha to happen to us, what is the way? Diksha is going to be the way. And the most important element in the Diksha is mantra. So you should have Shraddha in the mantras. What are mantras? Mantras are a collection of sounds. So, in our system, how do we treat the sounds? Bhagavan says, Varnatmakaha, Nityāḥ, Śabdāḥ. Śabdāḥ, sounds, are Nityāḥ, are eternal. And they are Varnatmakaha. They are found as a set of articulated sounds represented in a particular manner. Okay? See, Nityāḥ is fine. Nityāḥ means eternal. Difference between Shabda and Varna. Varna is Varnyate anena iti Varnaha. That which helps you to describe is Varna. Okay? Śabdāḥ means that which is heard. Okay? That which is heard. So, Shabda is a generic term for all sounds. Varna is a specific term for articulated sounds. So, Varnatmakaha, Nityāḥ, Śabdāḥ. The Shabdas which are in the form of Varnas are Nityāḥ. So, what is articulated sound and inarticulated sound? Okay, let me say, if I clap my hands, I have produced a sound here. This is a Shabda. But the thing is that it is not Varna. It is Dhvani. Okay, tapping the table or a chair, it is Dhvani. This is not eternal. But when I say it is an articulated sound, which means I can re-articulate it in the exact manner any number of times. My will not differ, okay, from the next time I say So, it is definable. That is why it is Varna. So, the sounds which are articulated, such sounds are Nityāḥ, are eternal. That is why a lot of focus is given in our Shastra to the Matrika and the Malini. They say that they are the key for everything. The entire Sarva Siddhikrit Stuti is in the praise of the Matrikas. Okay, when we say Ganesha Graha Nakshatra Yogini Rashi Rupini, those 12 shlokas is called as Sarva Siddhikrit Stuti. And thus the entire 12 shlokas is in praise of the Matrikas as the gateway to sva-vimarshana. How without Matrikas, or how only through Matrikas you can possibly achieve this sva-vimarshana. Okay? Malini is, okay, sometime later. Malini is another form of Matrika. Matrika is called as Abhinna Yoni Malini, and Malini is called as Abhinna Yoni Malini. But anyway, sounds. Okay, basically. It is only through this that you can possibly have any chance or any scope for understanding oneself. These form part the mantras, or the mantras are made up of the varnas. So when we say the varnatmakaha shabdaha are eternal, mantras are also eternal. Okay? None of you are asking questions, so I will myself ask one question. When you say eternal, what is it relative eternality or is it absolute eternality? Because if you say it is absolutely eternal, then our system is only that only the consciousness can be absolutely eternal. Okay? So here when we say it is nitya, what we mean is nityatva is at the level of the Shuddha Vidya. From the Shuddha Vidya level onwards, the kind of eternality which we ascribe, to that level of eternity we ascribe to the Shabdas. Okay. Therefore, if they are helpful so as to reach you till the Shuddha Vidya stage. After that, it is an automatic fall through. Okay, you need force to be pushed from the, let's say, okay, from the cliff. After that, that itself will take you wherever it has to take you. So, varnas are eternal, but you should not understand this eternality and equate it with the eternality of pure consciousness. They are at different levels. Okay? But once again, it is, they are not man-made. That is a point which is being stressed here. They are not even the status of the Vedas. When we say it is apaurisheya, whether Vedas are paurisheya or whether they are apaurisheya, there is always a debate in the darshanas. Naiyayikas and all those things, they say that the Vedas are paurisheya. Whereas the Mimamsakas, they say Vedas are apaurisheya. In our Shastra, we don't get into debate. Okay, for us, whether it is paurisheya or we don't have to really go into the loop of apaurisheyatva as the Mimamsakas goes. Because for us, all the Vedas are coming from the mouth of Parashiva himself. So it is more like that they are paurisheyatva of the Naiyayika or Nyaya Vaisheshika school. But the thing is that because of his knowledge being perfect, whatever comes out of his mouth is also perfect. And whatever has come out of his mouth are found in the 5 Amnayas. Okay? And there are 70 crores mantras in the 5 Amnayas. Saptakoti mantratmakaha Amnayaha. So all the mantras are eternal, they are perfect. And they are the cause to take you or to lead you to your sva-vimarshanam. So that is the import of this particular sutra. And the next sutra is Mantranam Achintya Shaktita. Mantranam, the mantras have achintya shaktita, have shaktita, powers, which is achintya, which cannot be thought about. That is, you cannot imagine how powerful the mantras are. So when we say mantranam achintya shaktita, the mantras by themselves have, absolute or unimaginable powers. The sutra is also interpreted as mantreshu achintya shaktita. I will tell you the reason for this two-way interpretation. Let us take Panchadashakshari mantra. Panchadashakshari mantra, generally we treat it as having three kutas. Vagbhava, Kamaraja and Shakti kuta. But when we say Panchadashakshari as a mantra, I should say Panchadashakshari Vidya. So when we say Panchadashakshari Vidya, it is a 15-letter combination that gets the name Panchadashakshari Vidya. So in this sutra, when Bhagavan says Mantranam, he is not really getting into that internal classification of being a mantra and being a vidya. Vidyas are the Stri Daivatyaka, they are Vidyas, and Purusha Daivatyas are mantras. He is just using the mantra as a collective term for everything. So this 15-letter combination, Mantranam achintya shaktita, has powers which is unimaginable. So when we interpret it as Mantranam, we are taking it as a collective whole. When you do the split as Mantranam to mean Mantreshu, in the mantras, achintya shaktita, the constituents themselves have great powers. So Mantranam achintya shaktita. So when we say that the entire sum total has great powers, constituent sounds also has unimaginable powers. Mantreshu achintya shaktita. What is this achintya shaktita? The greatest power that the mantra can have is that it can remove your avidya. So if a mantra can do that, it can do anything else. Everything else is a child play. Sampradāya-Vishvāsābhyām Sarva Siddhiḥ. How do you know that mantranam achintya shaktita? How do you know? Do you have any proof? Do you have any shastra pramana? Or do you have any physical evidence, pratyaksha pramana? He says, the shastras will have pramanas. There may be experiences of the sadhakas, but over and above both, the upasaka should have Viśvāsa, faith. And the mantras should be attained by the upasaka from a holy tradition, sampradaya. Sampradaya-Vishvāsābhyām Sarva Siddhiḥ. So sampradaya means tradition. Vishvāsa means faith. Sarva Siddhiḥ. Sarva Siddhi. By the word Sarva, Sarvesham api Siddhiḥ. Accomplishment of everything. What is this everything? The word everything actually means your Atma Swarupa. So Atma Swarupopalabdhi Nama Siddhiḥ. The success here is, or attainment here is, knowing oneself. That will happen through two elements, through sampradaya and through vishvasa. That is, we say that the mantra should be received from a person who has come in a good tradition. That is where the Guru Parampara follows Shastra. Any Guru Parampara, how do you know whether this Guru Parampara is valid or invalid? If the Guru Parampara follows a Shastra, it is valid. If it uses its own imagination and comes up with things like that, then even if you are able to give some big names, still it is not valid. So that is Sampradaya. Why is it called Sampradaya? Because the tradition is handed down from Guru to Sishya. Sampradāya. Okay? It is properly handed down to the Sishya. Samyak pra. Okay, pra is Vishesha Rupena. So Samyak Vishesha Rupena Pradiyate iti Sampradāya. So a Guru teaches everything to the Shishya, teaches things in the proper manner to the Shishya. So that is how the tradition continues as from a Guru to the Shishya likewise. That is why there are some Vakyas which says that at least you should know the names of 9 people in the line to decide that this is a noble or this is a proper or a genuine Sampradaya. So that Sampradaya is one thing. Vishvasa, having faith that mantra will give you all siddhis. That is why the Sutrakara gives us the two not as exclusive cases. He says only if you have both. Sampradaya-Vishvāsābhyām uses the Dvivachana Prayoga. Okay, so which means that it should have come from the good tradition as well as the Sishya should have the faith. Unless both coexist, it's not going to give you the results. So Sampradāya-Vishvāsābhyām Sarva Siddhiḥ. Sarva here means all the worldly achievements. But most importantly, Sarva Shabda stands for the Sarvatmakata, okay, the state of omniscience, okay, which is the Vimarshanam of oneself. So the highest Purushartha can be had from the mantras only if the mantras have been received from a proper Guru Parampara and the Sishya has absolute faith in the mantras. See, when we say absolute faith, it is absolute faith. You cannot have any doubt, okay, in whether this mantra will do something. Should I get some more? Okay, I heard that there is this mantra which will give it faster, which means that we have really not understood how mantras are or what mantras by themselves are. See, this is, I will stop with this. This is very important, so I am just telling you now. Okay. We should stop grading the mantras. Having an idea that, okay, I have got Panchadashi, he has got Shodashi, he has got Maha Shodashi, that fellow is having Purna Shodashi, he is having Anuttara Shodashi. They are not grades, they are not like the military ranks. Okay, it doesn't work that way. Panchadashi will do everything and anything that an Anuttara Shodashi can do. Okay. So that leaves us with a question. I'll give you a chance, Soumya. So if everything is same, why have them? If Panchadashi is going to do the same work which the Anuttara Shodashi is going to give, then why have Panchadashi and have Anuttara Shodashi separately? Okay. I'll give us one-liner answer for this. Okay. It is, you are hungry. Okay. To appease your hunger, all you need is some carbohydrate in a combination with other things. Okay? That you can get in any form you want. You can get it as a chapati. Okay? You can get it as rice. You can get it as a thing. It does not matter. But for some are suitable. Some are digestible. Okay? So, based on the Shishya's requirement, Shishya's pravritti, and the, most importantly, okay, his mindset, the Guru chooses the mantras and he gives the mantras. So, they are not gradations, they are the same. They give the same effect. So if someone were to even have this idea, I'm not saying you are having, even if you are having this kind of mindset, you should kindly remove it, because then what are you doing? You are hitting the most basic principle of the Shastra, that mantranam achintyata shakti and Shraddha or sampradaya-Viśvasaabhyām Sarva Siddhiḥ. That it will mean that the Panchadashakshari Vidya will not give you moksha, it is only Shodashi will give you moksha. No, it's not that way. Okay.